Right now, without you knowing it, your brain is scanning the room. It's checking exits, clocking the strangers, measuring distances. You didn't ask it to do that. It doesn't care. It has been doing this every second of your life, in your office, in your bedroom, in every room you have ever sat in. Psychiatrists call it hypervigilance. They treat it like a malfunction, but it isn't a malfunction. It's the most successful survival system ever built, and it's 2 million years old. There is a structure buried deep inside your brain called the amygdala. It is roughly the size and shape of an almond. You have 2 of them, one on each side, sitting at the base of your temporal lobe, and for the last 2 million years, that structure has had exactly one job: keep you alive. Not make you happy, not help you focus, not let you relax. Keep you alive. Everything else your brain does, language, creativity, love, ambition, those are recent additions. Evolutionary updates layered on top of something far older. But underneath all of it, running constantly, the amygdala is doing what it has always done: scanning, sorting, flagging. Here is what that actually means. Your brain processes roughly 11 million bits of information every single second. Sounds, movement, temperature, the weight of the air. You are consciously aware of approximately 40 of them. The other 10,999,960 are being filtered, sorted, and acted on without your permission. And the single highest priority in that entire system, above hunger, above pain, above everything else, is threat detection. Your brain is not primarily designed to think. It is designed to survive. Thinking is what it does while it waits for something to kill you. But to understand why this matters, why it explains almost every anxious, restless, unsettled feeling you have ever had, you have to go back to the world this system was built for. Not the world of 200 years ago, not even the world of 2,000 years ago, the world of 200,000 years ago. For the overwhelming majority of human existence, your ancestors lived in small groups on the African savanna. The average group size was between 25 and 50 people. Everyone knew everyone. A stranger was not just unfamiliar. A stranger was a threat assessment, and the landscape itself was trying to kill you. Leopards hunted at dawn and dusk. Hyenas worked in coordinated packs after dark. Snakes hid in grass that looked identical to safe grass. Rival groups of humans could appear over a ridge without warning. In that world, a brain that relaxed was a brain that got its owner killed. The amygdala didn't evolve to make you comfortable. It evolved to make you paranoid enough to survive another day, and it was extraordinarily good at its job. In 1994, neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux at New York University published research that would permanently change how scientists understood fear. He discovered something he called the low road. When your senses pick up a potential threat, a sudden sound, a movement in your peripheral vision, a face that reads as hostile, that signal does not go to your conscious mind first. It goes directly to your amygdala. The amygdala processes it and fires a response in roughly 12 milliseconds. Your conscious awareness of what just happened arrives 200 to 500 milliseconds later. Your body is already reacting before you know what you're reacting to. Ledoux called it a fast and dirty processing system. Dirty because it makes mistakes constantly. It cannot afford to be accurate. It can only afford to be fast. Because in the world it was built for, a false alarm cost you a spike of adrenaline and a few minutes of elevated heart rate. Missing a real threat cost you everything, so it errs every time on the side of danger. The technical term for this is negativity bias. Your brain is neurologically wired to weight potential threats more heavily than potential rewards. Studies show that a negative stimulus activates the amygdala significantly more intensely than a positive stimulus of equal size. Bad is stronger than good. Not because you are pessimistic, because your pessimistic ancestors survived and your optimistic ones didn't. This is the system that modern psychiatry looks at and calls disordered. In 2013, the American Psychiatric Association updated its diagnostic manual: generalized anxiety disorder, social anxiety disorder, panic disorder. Tens of millions of diagnoses handed to people whose brains are doing something. Ancient brains did successfully for 2 million years. The brain didn't change, the world did. And here is where it gets stranger. The amygdala doesn't just respond to physical threats. It cannot tell the difference between a leopard and a deadline, between a rival human and a hostile email, between being alone on the savannah at night and being ignored at a party. The social pain and the physical pain run through overlapping neural circuits. A 2003 study by psychologist Naomi Eisenberger at UCLA used brain imaging to show that social rejection activates the same regions of the brain as physical injury. Being excluded from a group lights up the same areas as being hit for your ancestors. This made perfect sense. Exclusion from the group was a death sentence. If the tribe rejected you, you were alone on the savannah. Alone on the savannah at night meant you were dead before morning, so your brain evolved to treat social rejection with the same urgency as a broken bone. Because in the world it was built for, they were equally fatal. That system is still running, right now, inside you. Every time you send a message and wait too long for a reply, your amygdala is running a threat assessment. Every time you walk into a room full of strangers, it is scanning faces for signs of hostility. Every time you lie awake at 3 a.m., turning a conversation over in your mind, that is not anxiety. That is a 2-million-year-old early warning system doing exactly what it was designed to do. It just cannot tell that you are safe. And this is the part that changes everything. In 2005, neuroscientist Martin Taker at Harvard Medical School published findings on what chronic stress does to the amygdala over time. He found that in people who had experienced prolonged threat, whether physical danger, chronic social stress, or persistent uncertainty, the amygdala had physically changed. It had grown more reactive, more sensitive, more trigger-happy. The brain had done exactly what it was supposed to do. It had learned from its environment. It had decided that if threat kept coming, the best strategy was to become even better at detecting it. More scanning, more flagging, more alerts firing faster. This is not a disorder. This is adaptation. Your brain looked at your life and decided what kind of world you were living in. Then it built itself accordingly. The problem is not that your amygdala is broken. The problem is that it is working perfectly inside a world it was never designed for. A world where the threats are invisible, where the dangers don't have teeth or claws, where you cannot outrun them or fight them or hide from them in a cave, where the predator is a quarterly review, a financial collapse, a relationship falling apart at 3 a.m. while the rest of the world is asleep. The amygdala cannot distinguish between these things. It was never asked to. For 2 million years, a threat was something you could see, hear, smell, or touch. Something with a body, something that ended. Modern threats don't end. They just change shape. So the system runs, and runs, and runs. And modern medicine looks at that exhausted, perpetually scanning brain and says something is wrong with you. But Calhoun, the scientist who watched an entire colony of mice collapse when the world stopped making sense to them, wrote something that most people never read. He wrote that behavioral collapse doesn't happen because life gets hard. It happens when the system built to navigate hard things has no hard things left to navigate correctly. Your amygdala was built to save your life. In the world it was built for, it did. For 2 million years, every ancestor you have ever had survived because that almond-sized structure would not let them relax. You are here because they were never fully at peace. Right now, while you sit in a room with no predators, no rival tribes, no darkness full of things that want to kill you, that same structure is still scanning, still checking exits, still clocking every face. It is not broken. It is the reason you exist. The question isn't how to silence it. The question is whether you can learn to live alongside something that ancient, something that kept every single one of your ancestors alive and has absolutely no idea that the world it was built for is gone